A warm welcome to our panel discussion. We've had some questions in today, so I'm keen that we can answer those for you. The first question is for Dr. Seal. Which subjects can my daughter study at King's High School?
Well, thank you, Dr. Burley. The answer to that is that we do a broad range of subjects. I think the best thing to do is for me just to read them all out to you. So we offer A levels in fine art, biology, business, chemistry, classical civilization, computer science, drama, design technology, economics, English literature, English language, French, geography, German, history, mathematics, further mathematics, music, PE, politics, physics, psychology, philosophy and theology, Spanish, and the extended project, which I think we're going to talk about more in a moment.
Thank you, Dr. Seal. In fact, we've had a question on the extended project qualification, or the EPQ. So, Dr. Seal, what is this qualification?
The EPQ is something that we're really keen that you know about and that you consider when you're thinking about your A-level choices. Alongside normally 3 A-levels, we offer pupils at King's High the opportunity to study for the EPQ, or Extended Project, which is worth half an A-level. It's very different from normal A-levels. It's an independent research project where you, the pupils, choose your topic, choose your subject, do your own research into it with the help of a supervisor. That leads eventually, after over 100 hours of work, to a 5,000 word research project or an artifact. When you apply to university, you have a grade, and often, particularly with arts and humanities subjects, it means that your grade offer from university is lower. The majority of our pupils take the EPQ. We warmly encourage you to think about doing it. And it also prepares you for that higher level university study.
Thank you, Dr. Seal. The next question is for Miss Ted. Where do our students graduate to after their A-level studies?
That's a really good question, because actually sixth form is a lot to do with preparing for next steps in life as well. I would say that our most popular destinations are to prestigious universities in this country, in the UK. Roughly 3/4 to about 80% go off to Russell Group universities in this country. And I would say up to about 10% are to Oxford and Cambridge, particularly. We also have about 10% of our students, something around that number, off to medicine and to allied sciences. But one thing I think is particularly exciting is that there's been a much greater interest in recent years in overseas universities, and also to things like degree apprenticeships, which are really starting to become exciting options for our pupils. I should also say there's a huge amount of support, in-house, personalised support for your pupils to be heading off on their own pathways.
Thank you, Miss Ted. And which are the popular destinations that our students tend to go towards?
So if I think about pupils that left in our most recent cohort, for example, I can think of people that have gone off to Bristol, to Durham, to the London universities, including LSE, Oxford and Cambridge, as I mentioned, but a wide range of universities, some really top destinations.
Thank you very much. And another question that's come in, how are the students integrated into the sixth form and into the boarding house at King's High?
Yeah, that's a really important one, actually, because we know it's a big step for pupils to be moving not just schools, but in some cases to a different country for their sixth form experience. So I can totally understand that question. I would say that our relationship with incoming pupils starts even before you join the school. So we'd be making contact with you, perhaps having some online conversations and things like that. We run a big induction program, which means that you will start to get familiar with some of the faces amongst the teachers, getting to know us, and getting to know me as head of sixth form, your head of year within the sixth form, your tutor, but also really importantly, getting to know some of the pupils that you'll be working alongside at King's High. So we will find you a buddy who will be somebody from within your same form at King's High who will help you to settle in kind of quickly and really smoothly. I think that's a really important part of settling in at King's High.
Thank you, Miss Ted. I've got a question here for Mrs. Watson. Who will be looking after my daughter in the boarding house?
The boarding house Way House has been designed for 12 to 16 students from the sixth form, and they are looked after very much by the house parents who are resident and they are assisted by a second resident in the house, and then we've also got a team of tutors from King's High who assist them on a daily basis.
Thank you, Mrs. Watson. And back to Miss Ted. Will my daughter mix with the boys at Warwick School? We've got very close relations, of course, with our brothers at Warwick School.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where I think we are quite different from some other girls' schools. So your education in terms of your academic lessons, which will take place in the main building where we are now, and those will be mostly single sex, apart from a very few subjects, for example, drama, for example, classical civilization. But it's socially and in terms of our other activities and things where we do a lot with the boys. So the sixth form centre, which is where my office is, in fact, that is shared with Warwick School. So in the social times, the study times of the day, you'll be able to spend time with the boys from Warwick School. And similarly with activities, a lot of our Friday afternoon activities and activities that take place elsewhere in the week are totally shared, things like orchestras, choirs, lots of amazing opportunities like that. And I think that makes us quite special. We call that the best of both worlds, that we have that single sex educational experience plus all the additional opportunities of sharing a site with Warwick School.
Thank you, Miss Ted. And developing on from that, a question for Dr. Seal. Which club, societies and activities can my daughter become involved in at King's High?
Brilliant. So this is quite an exciting area of school life. As I hope has come across to you already, we're an ambitious school, an aspirational school. We get those outstanding results. Alongside that, we have a really strong focus on joy and play and exploration. And we think that those two things work hand in hand. So clubs and societies, the question really is, what don't we do? We have a huge range of different co-curricular activities on offer. At the last count, it was around 150 different things each week that pupils at King's High can get involved with. Let me list just a few of them. We do the CCF, we do Duke of Edinburgh. Every Friday afternoon, pupils go and do a huge host of different and varied things. That involves Formula 24, building a car that eventually we will race around a racetrack, kayaking, Model United Nations debating, volunteering, the list goes on. We also have academic societies, and if a pupil comes to us and says, to give you a real recent example, I want to found a society in ancestry or finance, then we'll facilitate that and we'll support it. We also have a phenomenal program called our Inspire program, which is designed specifically for academic enrichment. And as part of that, we have the Encounters program. Just in the last 2 weeks, we've had a former Deputy Prime Minister come and speak to us, as well as Malala Yousafzai's father. So the opportunities are pretty endless.
Thank you, Dr. Seal, and thank you so much for joining us for our panel discussion. Thank you enormously for your interest in King's High. We really are a very special community and a very, very special educational offer. If you have any questions at all, please do get in touch with us. Thank you again for joining us.